Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here with the lunch break update. Some momentum bars off the open with the numbers that came out this morning. So just wanted to jump in and also show you what I'm watching potentially trigger. Got the NASDAQ up there right now. I wouldn't say this has anything to do with quantitative tightening. It has to do with the numbers released and silly Fed speak. And remember, we have another Fed speak in about 15 minutes starting. Sell, sell, sell. A great day wearing shorts. I wish I could be wearing shorts. It got a little cooler here. It was warm, then it's now cold. Happy dump day. Love these emergency streams. Well, thank you for being here, Kalani. Kalani. Christoph, I hope I know what I'm doing. I too, Christoph. I wish we had more people who had roles like in our Federal Reserve that knew what they were doing. Lauren, welcome. Sell, sell. Hit the offer. Hit the bid. Hit everything. It's hit the bid, lift the offer, by the way. Just so you know. Buy the dip. Maybe if it's a nice French onion dip with some good chips. Sold puts. Well, I'm watching here. Here's what. Then I'll get to the other thing that my head was exploding this morning. So we had momentum. Remember numbers. Here's my economic calendar. ISM numbers. First, manufacturing just missed a little, but ISM numbering, employment's contracting. Remember, below 50 is contraction, and prices paid coming in pretty hot still also. So that's going to be interesting. The services index coming in with a big down from last time. And remember, we have Bullard speaking. We already had Williams speaking. So that's what I am keeping an eye on. But manufacturing, there were some components in it that weren't so hot and the market reacted to. And also what we were talking about. Now, where is that? Where did that go? Here you go. We had Bostic, Raphael Bostic. He said last week about the pause in September. He was out clarifying that today. So maybe that meeting, the Biden meeting with Powell and Yellen yesterday was taken very seriously because he was talking about, that the September pause in his push to raise interest rates should not be construed in any way as a Fed put or a belief that the central bank would come to the rescue of the markets. Again, major clarification there. You have that. And then what my head nearly exploded. I was hoping this was just a joke. This is Mary Daly from the head of the San Francisco Fed. We must be prepared to do everything it takes to reduce inflation, fine, as well as to halt rising interest rates if necessary. If somebody can explain that to me, because you actually have to raise interest rates to get rid of this inflation. Besides QT, but that's gonna raise rates too in some ways. So how are you going to do everything it takes to reduce inflation as well as halt rising interest rates as necessary? Do these people know what they are talking about? So what this did with this little push up this morning before we got the momentum bars, now we have a potential double top on the NASDAQ. I am watching for the close to trigger it. Okay? The close to trigger it. I'm not trading this intraday because we got Fed speak in 10 minutes now. So if we get some more momentum bars, it would just be a short-term intraday trade. But if it's a close below there, it could be a little short-term swing trade. And we'll have to see if this triggers. We have just over an hour left on this bar, so lots can happen, especially with Fed speak. And this would be right before the beige book comes out. But those targets are 12,308, 12,220, 220, 222.50, 12,136.50, and that takes us back between the 50 and the 62.5. So would it still be in fine for the double top, yes, but we'd be in that area. We'd watch for that rotation, and also now we're finally getting the cycle rollover with this move, so we could get this little downward pullback if that does trigger before another little push higher. But if we did close below that 62.5 level, it would invalidate that double top after not hitting that first target on the Nasdaq. And the S&P has no double in here. You see stalling out, just this little peekaboo move, and then here was your momentum bars. Again, momentum bars, the little correction, and then the next sell-off. Here was my harmonic levels, and now we're breaking below this level again. So if we want to update those, remember I switched to the 15-minute rotation zone, reconnection with that 15-minute rotation zone, and trying to push down now. If this level holds, you might get a little mini double, though. So we'll have to watch for that to the upside. Can't map that out yet, but those are the levels. Nasdaq, I just at this point be using. You also have this little mini double, so this bigger 4-hour double might not trigger, and you could theoretically have this little one trigger for a little corrective move. So this is what I mean when it's tactile trading. It is definitely tactile trading. That's why I'm waiting for the close on the Nasdaq for this. So that's where we sit. So you asked, buy the dip. Well, if we came back down here, completed this, and then got a reversal up, that would be a reversal pattern for me to make a run at these double targets. If we got back down and closed below the 62.5, then it would not be a buy the dip. If we don't trigger this and we rotate back up after just holding these levels, then I need another entry pattern that's longer than a potential. I'm sorry, for some reason my internet's slow. But this, remember, let's say this potential double triggers, it's just a short little bounce move. It's not, that would be a little trade, not a buy the dip in the macro sense. What stocks do you trade every day? It changes, but I more participate in the futures at this point. I like to longer term swing trade the stocks. I used to do a lot more with Tesla. By the way, Tesla, just to jump in with that. Oh boy, this is now one too many rotations up. Here, I'll show you in the 1 hour. This was the double. This was another spike higher. This actually invalidates the pattern. So this is still a valid breakdown area. If the Nasdaq continues to roll, you just can't use those targets anymore. My target now, if it heads back down today, if we get this little pause bar and then it rolls down, is roughly the 50 and the lows from this gap. That's the target. Then it would be the gap fill. So that's where that stands. Watching NVIDIA double bottom with stop in place feels great, knowing to trade entry exit probabilities and using a small percent of account before taking it. Yes, the point. And it's not about, it's about lining yourself up with the probabilities. And the probabilities are still there, even with this pullback. It could even fill this gap right here. And fine. You still got the probabilities to the upside, just like the markets. Still have the probabilities based off those doubles. By the way, Dow also did not have any double top. The only one as the double top is the Nasdaq. See the Dow just coming back down. I put on some short-term harmonics here. Wish it wasn't so slow, getting that little pause right there at this harmonic level. But if that heads lower, if the Dow heads lower, it broke this pretty critical support. So, that double triggers on the Nasdaq. It's pausing right here at the 4-hour 50. If we do break below there, 32